The greater the obstacle, the more glory it is in overcoming it. And at the end, you gonna call me the greatest. Yeah.
Did it on my own, now they want me gone. Never thought I'd make it, now they seeing greatness. They second guessing me, slowly driving me. And I'm gonna be beating on my craft day and night. And I won't stop until they.
It ain't over till I feel like I'm the greatest. Overcame a lot once I made some changes. Rather move alone cause my folks out here hating. Still not giving up till they label me the greatest. All the struggles and the hard times, that's what really made me. Words will never hurt me, them little things can never face me. All the second guessing, got them busting U-turn. Push past my limits, now they see it's my turn.
Did it on my own, now they want me gone. Never thought I'd make it, now they seeing greatness. They second guessing me, slowly driving me. And I'm gonna be beating on my craft day and night. And I won't stop until they call me the greatest. Call me the greatest. Call me the greatest. I gotta be the greatest. I gotta be the greatest.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of, you know what? Actually, I almost feel like we need a reintroduction because, the last time we were here, last time we did this, we were RCBL, but it's a little more special now, man. We've transitioned and we are officially SkyWest Sports Academy. So, welcome to the first official episode of Let's Hoop presented by SkyWest Sports Academy. It's exciting what we're doing with SkyWest this year, ain't it, yo? Yeah. It's crazy just to see where we were last season and where we were last year to, becoming an official business and, everything going up to the next level. I don't know. Y'all chime in on that real quick. What y'all think about that?
It's great, man. I mean, it's different. Live streaming, just the gameplay. The competition has went up, and it's went up every year. But this year, it's teams that's on the top that was on the bottom, and teams that was on the bottom on the top. I mean, it's just vice versa. So it's crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah. What you think, D?
Man, look, the competition level cannot be understated. How great everyone has gotten. The teams have gotten so much better. I think the live stream is such a great element, man. It's like if I'm late to the game, I'm turning on the live stream. Let me see what's up before I get there. Man, I think everything is just going up and up and up. Man, the sky's the limit right now.
No pun intended. No pun intended. Well, without any further ado, we just want to do that introduction and just first of all thank everybody that's a part of the league, everybody that contributes to the league. We couldn't do this without you guys. SkyWest Sports, we're going up from here. So with that being said, we're going to take a look at what's been going on these first 2 weeks of the season. The first 2 weeks have been amazing. And so let's take a look at our top 10 from the first 2 weeks of the season.
Genius Arts. Genius Arts.
as you can see, like I said, first 2 weeks were amazing. Like we said, we have such an even balance with the teams. I mean, literally, the championship this year is completely up for grabs, and it is exciting to see what's going to come from it. So let's talk about the standings. Do you want to go and bring us in on that? Let's talk about our standings. Let's look at where some of these teams are and how we're looking so far at these 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay. So in first place right now, we have the Panthers that are 2-0. The Panthers. Second place behind the Panthers, we have the Wolves that are also 2-0 this season. In third place, the Redhawks, who are 1-1 so far this season. After the Redhawks, we have the Blazers, who are also 1-1 this season. After the Blazers, in fifth place, we have the Savages, who are also 1-1. In sixth place this season, we have Global Impact. They are 1-1. In seventh place, the Titans, who are 0-2 so far. And the Chargers are in last place currently, who are 0-2 so far.
So, as we stated, we have some teams that were at the top last season, and now they're lower to the bottom. And then we have some teams that are at the bottom, and now they're at the top. One in particular, but I'm gonna hold that because we're gonna talk about that later in the show. I'm gonna hold that for right now. But we've had some interesting moves take place so far. The Chargers with them being in last place. I think that organization though is going to turn around. They're already making some moves to try to turn that organization around. There actually have been 2 trades that have been made this season thus far. First, trading Isaiah Britt to the Global Impact Warriors for a second round pick for next season, and also trading John Peden to the Redhawks for a third round pick next season. So that's 2 major moves. I know they're trying. I'm not gonna give away no secrets, but I know what they're trying to do there with that. So that's very interesting as well. When we talk about just the new things that are happening with SkyWest, we actually have 2 new teams this season, beginning with the Savages, a new team. Some of the guys have been around the league before, and then some of the others, this is their first season. Let's talk about that. Talk about the Savages for me.
Savages, great team. Really grimy team. I mean, I really like what I see from them. Their coach, Phil. Phil is a great coach. He's
Shout
very
out Phil.
animated.
Shout out Phil.
Yes. Very animated. Very enthusiastic on the sidelines. This guy, I mean, he's screaming at his players, screaming at the refs, in a good way. But I mean, he's really got his team going, so I commend him for that. They have a 2-headed monster as far as their guards is concerned. I mean, a lot of the pops that Calvin, oh my gosh, man, that dude is making all kind of shots. And then to add Steve, I mean, these are some players that actually moved from team to team, and some players that came back to the league, which is pretty good, man. But I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, man. I mean, they've shown me some stuff, and they have a couple of more pieces coming as well. So, I mean, hey, it's looking on the up and up for them. So, good team.
Darius, what you think about Savages?
Man, look, I watched the Savages' first 2 games. I believe their first 2 games went to overtime.
They did. Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first game was against the Wolves.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and just watching them play in that game is, like you said, man, they're grimy. They hustle, and they don't give up on plays. Like, if you're going to play basketball for 40 minutes, that's the team you don't want to see on the other end.
Exactly.
Because they're going to give it to you for all 40 minutes. Coach Phil, I actually got a chance to kind of listen to him on the sideline. All he does is motivate, push, shoot the ball, play defense. Everything that comes out of his mouth towards his team is extremely positive, extremely encouraging. As a player, listening to that, it makes you want to go out and play hard for him. Mm-hmm. So, again, shout out to Coach Phil. He's doing a great job with that team so far. I will say with Calvin and Steve, man, I mean, look, if you're a guard in this league, those are 2 guys that you don't want to see coming your way. They are going to put points up. They're going to put points up fast, and you're going to have to work hard to try to stop them from doing that. So.
It's funny. I'm going to chime in on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was in their second game against the Savages, and I had to guard Steve. And I'm part player, part commissioner. I'm in commissioner mode right now, so I'll share defensive secrets. But, with me as a defender, I try to be a tactician when I'm a defender. But with Steve, he's one of their guards, and he's so shifty. And it's one of those situations where you literally have to play a chess game with Steve, because if you make one wrong move, you might touch earth. You know what I mean? Like, if you make one wrong move, or if you try to follow that shift or whatever the case may be, it's like in your head the whole time. You're like, all right, stay grounded, stay even keel, don't get too excited, because it's like, boy, if you make the wrong move. But I love it though. I love the challenge of guarding Steve. But he is one of those players where it's just kind of like, whew, all right. It's like you be out on the court, you be like, yeah, go to the bench. Hey. But no, that's great. It's excellent. It's
you know what though? Those two, they make you forget about one. That's Dip.
That's true. That is so true. That is so true.
They make you forget about him, and he's lethal.
He's
lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking Robert Horry type. I mean, he's in the corner waiting on that 3-shot, and it was detrimental to the Redhawks.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, so I think it works well together. So that team is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And they got more on the way.
Yeah, they have one or two that haven't played.
It's gonna get good.
They're definitely going to be. They're going to be right there for sure. And then, secondly, we have the Redhawks, which that's kind of interesting for me because that is the new team that I am now on this season, and it's interesting because it's like you have a toolbox, right? And you have all your pieces you have all your tools in there, and it's just kind of like, okay, here's my project, here's my tools. How are we gonna put this together? You know what I mean? And that's really where I think we are right now as a team. We have so many tools, we have so many weapons, we have a lot of veteran leadership, a lot of veteran presence. So I think it's just a matter of just us, figuring it all out. Figuring it out for me personally, getting in shape. Get myself back together. I think, I know I'm shooting below 50%. I'm like at 40, 30% right now, which is terrible. So, for me, like I said, I just know that's my piece when it comes to putting my piece in the toolbox. And we all, like I said, we all have our things. But I think overall, we are a great team. And I'm actually really excited to be playing with them this season. I'm really excited for the challenge. I'm having to relearn a system. I've been with the Wolverines since the league started. So having to relearn this system with the Redhawks is definitely a challenge, but interesting nonetheless. I don't know. I'll let you chime in on that.
You know how I feel about you playing for the Redhawks, but
that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that right now.
But Redhawks, good team. Like you said, they got a lot of veterans. I think they play very smart. Sometimes they play a little bit too smart and just don't play. So sometimes that kind of hurts them because they're thinking so much and they're not playing basketball. A lot of times you rely on what you've done and just use your muscle memory, to play basketball. So I think they overthink a little bit, but overall I think when they do get it together, one of the other teams is going to be not a team that everybody wants to see. So, and even though they have the one loss, I mean, that was another overtime game. Double overtime, yeah, that's right. So,
oh my God.
I honestly,
we can skip past that.
But I will say that's probably one of the best games this season. That was an interesting game. The crowd participation in that was crazy.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, so
it was like playoff energy.
Yes, it was. So, but good team coming up, and they're just their first year together. All of them never really played together, so. That's kind of dangerous because when they do come together, I mean, it's gonna be something. So we're gonna see where that goes.
Yeah, man. The Redhawks, very smart team. You guys have a lot of high IQ players. And again, once it does come together, it's gonna be scary. So, what's interesting about the Redhawks is they're, they say they're not the biggest team. They're also not the smallest team. They have like a team full of guys that are wing size, like 3s and 4s, but they play like guards and bigs too. So it's like they got that size that's everyone's like the same size, but they all do something different. And that's also something that's fun about watching the Redhawks is just seeing the different combinations that you guys throw out. Like, Darius, you would bring the ball up sometimes and play guard, and then the next play is Jordan coming straight down coast to coast, and he's out there, he's facilitating as well, and it's a good group of guys to have that are just knowledgeable about the game and know what to do. And again, once they kind of figure out what each other can do, and how to put themselves in a situation to not just play basketball but win the games of basketball. Yeah, Railhawks are gonna be sneaky good. Like they're gonna be right there competing at the very end. So that's a team you don't want to see for 4 quarters for sure, especially for 2 overtimes. But they're gonna rough you up. They're gonna make you think, and they're gonna bring a lot of energy as well. So from the starters to the bench players, Railhawks are loaded.
And speaking of loaded, I want to talk about 2 other teams that are, I would say, pretty loaded as well too, especially when it comes to the transition rather from last season to this season. The Blazers and the Panthers. Yeah, both of them are they're loaded. They're loaded. I don't know who want to take this one. Who want to start with one of these teams and take this one?
We'll let you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I've had the privilege of practicing with the Panthers, as well as watching them bring what they've practiced to the games on the Saturdays that we played so far, and it's like just nonstop competitive energy. They don't care how big you are. They don't care how many threes you shoot. They don't care how many dunks you get. They're gonna come at you every single time. They're fearless. They hustle, and they compete. The first game they played this year was against the defending champs, Global, and I don't even know what I witnessed. That was,
Yeah.
Look, the Panthers, with all due respect to the former champs, they ran them out the gym. It wasn't close.
Nope.
And I think the Panthers are on a lot of teams' radar this year as one of those teams that you have to come prepared to play, and a team that you want to beat in the league this year. And so, from them going from second pick in the draft to number 1 so far through these first 2 weeks is just amazing to see just that transition from, we're picking up here in the draft to now we're the team everyone's looking at.
I gotta say this real quick. It's interesting that you say that because coming up this Sunday, now if I look at the Panthers, the combination of Trey and D'Allen, that's a tough backcourt. That's a really tough backcourt to have. And so you got that backcourt, and then they're playing the Savages this Sunday, which is Calvin and Steve. So which is another tough backcourt. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm a whole fan come Sunday, and I want to see this backcourt matchup. Like that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Panthers. Obviously, I'm gonna be a little biased, but
nah, man, you can't do that on here.
I'm gonna be a little biased.
You can't do that on here. We have to be impartial.
I know, but the Panthers. One thing about the Panthers that I know is they show a lot of heart. Those guys, their heart is so big. The hustle, the offensive rebounds is very impressive for the Panthers, and it comes from everybody. So I want to give a shout out to Michael. Michael may not score 1,000 points, but Michael really, he gets in there, tips that ball, gets those offensive rebounds. It's the intangibles that they have that is really have them on the top. So those guys, they grind it out. They have huge hearts. Shout out to those guys from last year who stuck with the team. And I can tell these guys love each other. We chat all the time. They talk to each other in the chat. They're very active, So those guys really play for each other, and they see each other as brothers, and they check up on each other. So that makes a difference. Makes a big difference in that team. And we're talking about the Blazers too. Gino.
Yeah.
Gino.
Yeah.
My gosh, man. Gino he's really balling, man. And Panthers edged him out. It was a pretty good game, but
I heard bias in your voice when you said that.
Heard what bias?
Yeah, I heard. I heard bias in your.
No, that's
my Panthers got him though. My Panthers got. That's what I heard.
That's called being proud. That's
okay.
all.
Oh, okay.
You're proud of your team. It's okay. It's okay to be proud of your team. But the guys showed a lot of heart, and but the Blazers, they're very dangerous this year. Coach Jones, shout out to Coach Jones for getting that team together and taking the reins for that team. The Blazers was at the bottom. You know, what's the song
Well,
say?
wait, because actually they were in the playoffs last year.
Actually, you know
They
what?
were in the
You're
playoffs
right.
last
They
year.
were in the playoffs.
Yeah,
They were in the
a playoff
playoffs.
team, and that's the thing about it. Like with this season, they were a playoff team last year, and so now it's like they've gone from playoff to contending team because with the addition of Geno, first of all, I mean Geno's a lights out shooter, so there's that. And then you add Troy, who is a crazy guard.
Right.
Like, Troy can do everything. Then you add Lee, who now gives you size. Lee can go back to the basket, or Lee will face up and shoot, or Lee can play out on the perimeter and shoot. Like, you have, I mean, it's so many additions this season, and it's just like, yo, like, they really went from, you know, teeter-tottering in the playoffs to now they are a contender. They're a contending team. So, and that's what I'm saying about this season. Like, literally, it's up for grabs. Like, literally, everybody, you know, has the potential to, you know, make some noise in the league this year. Even like returning teams, like the Wolves. And I think this will be a good time to chime. As a matter of fact, I'll start with the Wolves.
You can start with the Wolves.
I'll start with the Wolves, my team that I miss so much. I do miss y'all. No, I'm not gonna lie, I do. But just outside looking in, it's weird. And I've talked to some of my other veteran former teammates on the team, and it's a completely different version of the Wolves because we've always had somewhat of a veteran presence. We've always had a semi-older team. Myself, Bird, RJ, Woods. Like, we've had like an older core. And then, like, our younger core wasn't that much younger when it came to, like, Drew and people like that. Like, they weren't. And then if they were, you know, somebody like Drew, super basketball IQ, so it really didn't matter. And so it's just like now it's just like it's not as veteran heavy, and it's a lot of younger guys that want to learn and that are like they have all the skills, they have all the talent, and it's just that veteran pedigree that they're needing to get and that experience. And it's just like, yo, it's such a different look, like it's such a different feel. I know you feel it.
Oh yeah.
But it's not a bad thing though. It's like, because like I said, the talent and all. Like, look at Joshua. I mean,
Yeah.
the kid is crazy, and his potential is just limitless. But it's one of those things where it's just like it's got to be cultivated. Us, we was old. What we were gonna be, we were gonna be. You know what I mean?
It's over with.
It's over. It's like, well, not over, but you know, whatever we were as ball players, that's what we were. But he's still being cultivated, and like his potential is still like skyrocketing. So, I don't know, D. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, man. You know, the Wolves, they kind of set a precedent for the league. Like, as far as teams that just retain players and bring them in every year or bring them back every year, it's like the Wolves is that team that you look at. It's like, I mean, you guys do a good job of bringing the same group back. And it makes it seamless on the court when they're playing together. Like, you know, I've played with this guy for 4, 5, 6 years. I know what he's going to do. And we, you know, non-verbal communication on the court is crazy. You mentioned all those guys. One guy you left out was Desi. And Desi's IQ is off the charts as well. I think the Wolves personally have, and I know we've been saying this a lot through the show about the best guards in the league, but I think the Wolves have the best group of guards in the league as far as just guards go. Between Wood, Desi, Drew, Miles. I mean, it's like you can pick and choose whichever you go in, and it's not. I mean, it's a seamless transition. What you got, D? What you got, D?
Rocking hard place, because these my guys. These my guys. But, bro, the guard pool is just so heavy in the league. Like, I can't just. That's why I'm gonna stay away. It's like the GOAT debate. Like, I just stay away from it because it's just like for me, there's no way to actually like quantify that. You know what I mean? And again, that's to take nothing away from, you know, the guards that I already won a championship with those guards. So it takes nothing away from them. But it's just like you put them up against each other, and it's like, okay, we got Wood. Let's just say we got Woods and Desi. And then we got Calvin and we have Steve. Oh, okay, cool. But it's like, where do you cancel out? Because if you go through if you go through all those guards, they all have something that can kind of one up the other one. Or if you go to Trey and DeAllen, or versus Steve or if you put all three of them, Trey, DeAllen, Drew, Wood, Steve, Calvin. Like if you put all of them, it's just like which one. Like the whole start bench cut thing. It's like how do you do that with them? Because it's like yo, they're all so I can't say
But
anybody has the best.
To that point, they have the best. The Wolves have the best group of guards. See, they're interchangeable in that manner. If Wood comes off the floor, Drew's going in. You're not losing anything. You know, if Desi comes off the floor, Miles is coming in. You're not really losing anything.
But wouldn't that be the same thing though? With if Steve comes out, Calvin comes in, you're not losing anything.
Right, but I'm saying, from a group standpoint, the Wolves have more. If you snatch your 2 starters out and put 2 bench players in, who's coming in for Steve and Calvin versus who's coming in for Wood and
I see what you're saying.
You know?
I see what you're saying. Okay, so
You know,
so in other
Allen
words,
and
the
Trader.
Wolves have 3 and everybody else only.
but the Wolves have 4. You know, they
Yeah, because you're forgetting about Desi.
No.
So you have
Woods,
Yeah.
Woods, Drew, Desi,
Miles.
Miles. How did
I mean, I think what Miles scored like 20 points.
Yeah,
in the
you're right.
game
Yeah, you're
off
right.
the
You're right.
bench.
I'm sorry. You know what? I think we have to say they have the best group.
have the
You know
best
what?
group,
Disregard that whole thing.
From a talent
Darius is wrong. How in the world did I forget about Miles? Miles is a killer. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
From a
he's
talent
quiet.
standpoint,
'Cause
your
he's quiet.
guards
He's quiet.
that come off the bench from a talent standpoint could start on another team in this league.
That's true. That's
You know,
true.
Like, I mean, just from a group standpoint, you have the best group of guards. Not saying that they're better than D. Allen and Trey. Not saying they're better than Steve or Calvin, but just the interchangeability of them. It's gonna be seamless.
Yeah, you won that debate, brother. You got that one. Yeah, you got that one. All right, look. I guess we'll give him a chance to talk about his team now. Go ahead, Coach Sky.
I just see a capital P for potential. Right now, we haven't got where we need to be. So, we still make a lot of mistakes. We still don't know each other well. We lost you. We lost Bird. Oh my God, that's it. That's the engine that always could. I mean, that guy is. I'm telling you. Shout out to him. I know he went to the Army, so we appreciate him serving the country. We lost Glass. It's another one we lost. I mean, you talking 3 dogs. And three starters that we lost. I mean, that's rough on us. And then we've had some injury. I believe Justin, he was in a car accident, so we've been missing him as well. So we just got a lot going on, but I do think we're coming together. These young guys, they're trying to pull those reins. So I think we'll be all right. And we coming up, so we just got to get that heart factor, and we'll be all right. So I don't even worry about my team like that. I know we can light a fire on them, and they can burn when that fire's lit. So,
speaking of heart factor, the Chargers, they do not lack heart.
No.
Because I don't care what has happened in these first 2 games, they fought and fought and fought. What would you guys say if you had to say? Because we already know. We know what Nigel and Jamon is going to bring. We know they are the centerpieces of the offense there. We know what they're going to bring. I will tell you all, Safwan Muhammad, he is the guy that I knew back from Georgia Perimeter when he and I both used to play up there. And when I say he's a killer, he's a killer. He was like my mentor back during that time. And when I tell you, I won a championship with him too. So it's like, I guess my thing is, he's an ace in the hole when it comes to what they have. So you take Nigel and Jamon, you add Safwan to that equation. What else do you guys think? Obviously, missing DeAndre is a huge piece for them. They're definitely missing that inside presence that DeAndre brought last season. But I don't know. Talk to me. What do you guys think is needed for the Chargers to get over this hump and pick up this next win?
I don't think it's about people. I think it's about trust.
Mm-hmm.
I know Nigel and Jamon, they're the engine for that team. But a lot of times they try to just put it on their back and do it themselves. And they're great players. But a lot of times you have to understand that when it's 2 on you, when it's 3 on you, you have to trust that other teammate to make the right move. And I do believe that that's what they're lacking is trust. If they can trust each other to play and trust their teammates, I think they'll do a lot better. because at the end of the day, they're tiring themselves out. So, they're trying to take every shot and just bring everybody back when they need to do it as a team instead of as individuals. So that's what I would say.
Hey, look, I agree 100% with Coach Scott, man. Nigel and Jamon are phenomenal scorers in this league. I guess for the next challenge for them to better themselves as players is figuring out when to take those shots, when to submit the ball to someone else and just take that possession off and catch your breath. Because, at the end of the day, you have to, when you guys are the engines of the team, the game is going to be on your back regardless of how many shots you take. But you have to find those little breaks in the game. And I think that's what's going to take your play to the next level is figuring out what possessions to just, relax on and what possessions to just go charge, go get the basket. Because, they're great scorers. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, when they get into it, again, like we said about most of the guards in this league, those are two guards that they're going to get their points.
That's another tandem we didn't talk about.
That is another tandem we didn't talk about.
Nigel and Jamon duo, they're going to get their points.
I ain't going to lie. And having to have guarded both of them, they are the type of scorers that really just be like, bruh.
Did that really go on?
Bruh. Like, they're like the bruh scorers. Like,
right.
Because some of the ways they be finishing, it's like with Jamon, it's like, y'all know how LeBron has that step back that even though you kind of see it coming, it's still unstoppable. Jamon kind of has like a side step like that too, and it's just like it's almost like it's coming, but even when you contest it, it's just like buckets. And then so again, you contest, you see it's coming, whatever, he still hits it, and it's just like, bruh, come on. And then Nigel, first of all, just how quick he is with the ball, and again. Just like with Steve, it's a chess match because
True.
all right,
True.
okay, because Nigel is shifty and he's quick, so it's a chess match, and then he's strong.
Yes.
And then the comp, like his layup package is insane, and so some of the layups he'll finish here again, bruh. Like, did that really just go in? Like, I played great defense. Like, coach is giving me the thumbs up on the side. Great D.
Hey,
but it just went better. So yeah, no, I definitely think they definitely, with that tandem, again, another tandem in this league, they definitely, I think they can turn the season around. I definitely think they can. So, that being said, this has been our show, Let's Hoop. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and staying locked with us. Listen, y'all do not want to miss. This was just the tip of the iceberg. We have so much more coming on this show. We have special guests coming, special interviews. It's going to be so much happening on this show. We're going to be getting into more stats, getting into more breakdowns of these teams as the season goes on. It's going to be amazing. And what we want you guys is to continue spreading the word, continue putting it out there, let people know SkyWest Sports is here, letting people know that we are in this community, letting people know that we are putting on a product that's going to be professional, that's going to be fun, that's going to be entertaining. Bring your family out to the games. We're going to have SkyWest dancers that will be joining us at this next game and games going forward. We have halftime shows, halftime games for crowd participation. So much happening with SkyWest Sports. And so keep inviting your family out, keep inviting your friends out, family and friends that are watching the show. Thank you guys so much for coming out and being a part of what we are doing here at SkyWest, and we will look forward to seeing you with our next game. What is it, February 6th, this coming Sunday? February 6th?
Yep.
Hey,
starting at 3.
Starting at 3 o'clock. And listen, don't be late because we are starting at 3. We done got our footing. Everything's good. We are starting at 3, so we don't want you to miss the opening intro, none of that stuff. We don't want you to miss anything because one thing I can promise you is that you never know what you just might see at a SkyWest Sports Games. But until then, thank you guys so much. Darius, thank you so much. Scott, thank you so much for being here. Look forward to seeing you all the next time and on the next episode of Let's Hoop.
I don't even want the crown, fake daps and pounds, laugh at them now. Lights, camera, action, so the smoke is bound. When you wanna up, everyone around. When you wanna grind, only God is found. But I put in work, so the time is now. Getting graduated like a cap and gown, feeling like breezy, look at me now.
Did it on my own, now they want me gone. Never thought I'd make it, now they seeing greatness. They second guessing me, slowly driving me, and I'm gonna be beating on my craft day and night, and I won't stop until they call me the greatest. Call me the greatest. Call me the never thought I'd make it, now they seeing greatness. They second guessing me, slowly driving me, and I'm gonna be beating on my craft day and night, and I won't stop until they call me the greatest. Call me the greatest.